Welcome back to the channel, and we're just gonna start this video off with two simple facts. Fact number one, I'm the biggest kaiju fan in the world. You know what I'm saying? I was just out in the Shibuya Ward the other day watching Kikoru and Kaiju number 15 fight, and whenever I was walking through the stores, I bought 500,000 on the neck in Kaiju number 8 merchandise. Get you a good look at that. Come here. You see them shakers in there? Look at Hoshina in there. 500,000 on the neck. Probably like $7. I'm just playing. But boy, if you don't get for number 2, Hoshina and Kaiju number 10 might have the best relationship in this series. I know there's not much love interest in Kaiju number 8, but if there's one relationship that I'm shipping, it's Hoshina and Kaiju number 10.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now let's get into it. So for starters, Matsumoto used some of the best imagery that he has used throughout this whole series in chapter 91. One thing that I very much so appreciated with chapters 90 and 91 is that in chapter 90 we saw Okonogi talking about how Hoshina has built everything up step by step. And whenever she explains that, all those rocks are stacked up on top of each other. In chapter 91, we see with every single hit that Kaiju number 12 is landing on Hoshina, it's slowly tearing down all of those steps and all of that foundation that Hoshina has built up. So by the end of the chapter, it makes sense that Hoshina is as lost as he truly is. It took somebody like Kaiju number 10 to bring Hoshina back to himself. But we will get to that when we get to it. We'll start from the beginning of the chapter, and really in the beginning of 91, we get another flashback of Soichiro training Soshiro whenever they were kids. And the one thing that I did like about this flashback is that it gives us a little glimpse into the actual relationship between Hoshinas. Now, at first, we didn't really have a good glimpse of whether or not they have a good brotherly relationship or a bad one. But from what I even see in this flashback, it seems like Soichiro very much so loved his younger brother Soshiro. If anything, I think that the family's pressures on both of the children is what may have drove some sort of wedge between them, or just also made Soshiro want to be that much better than Soichiro. All he remembers is how perfect Soichiro was, while he was just the redheaded stepchild in the back that was trying to train to be on the same level, and as we saw, even surpass Soichiro. So I love this flashback that we get because it told us a lot without telling us much, and I'm very confident that the two Hoshina brothers do have a good relationship, unless something else happened that we don't know about at this point. But outside of that, the flashback was very short-lived. We immediately go right back to where the end of chapter 90 was, and Kaiju number 12 is letting off that single sword attack against Hoshina and knocked him way back, which is still making Hoshina mad. Hoshina talks about how, like we said even in the last video, he has trained his whole life just to be able to hone this skill of single sword style. So he's not gonna let himself lose to a replica. And he starts to stand himself back up, and dog, whenever Hoshina started to stand himself back up and Kaiju number 12 popped up like this, I did not know what to think, bro. You saw both Hoshina and Okonogi shook that Kaiju number 12 was over top of Hoshina that fast, and even Okonogi was yelling, "Yamida!" Once we see those reactions from Hoshina and Okonogi, Kaiju number 12 finally lets off its catastrophic slash against Hoshina, which knocks Hoshina out, but right before Hoshina is about to fall back, he thinks to himself, "Not yet. My sword is right there. Grab hold of it." And as he's reaching out his arm, all he thinks of is Kaiju number 12 cutting his arm off, bro. And whenever I saw Hoshina's arm get cut off, bro, I know y'all are right there with me. I thought that this chapter was it for Hoshina. Bro, I'm not editing this part out. Y'all gotta let me know what y'all thought in the comments down below, because whenever I saw Hoshina with the shook eyes and his arm was missing and now a whole pile of rocks was shambles everywhere, that meant that his foundation was broken, his confidence was broken, and obviously his arm looked gone. And Hoshina was thinking to himself, if I were my brother, I could have switched over to the firearms combat and maybe had a chance to beat this thing. He thinks about his father telling him to give up. He thinks about one of his old officers telling him that he's bound to get killed. But all he can think of is that he doesn't want to give up yet. He's not ready to give up, especially not in a fight of blades. And as all of this is processing in Hoshina's head, you just see Kaiju number 10 let off the most maniacal laugh, and Hoshina snaps out of being knocked out and wakes up and is thinking to himself, what the hell is Kaiju number 10 laughing at? And that's where we see Kaiju number 10 come in as the clutch hero for this Kaiju Thursday, bro. Kaiju number 10 talks about how he fended off the attack using the tail, and we see a panel zoom in on Kaiju number 10's tail that has been completely cut off. We see Kaiju number 10 has a huge slash through the middle of it, but even with all of this happening, all Kaiju number 10 can think of is, okay, Hoshina, what are we doing next? And that part right there, yo, Kaiju number 10 got me back lit again this chapter. And even as Kaiju number 10 asks Hoshina, what are we doing next? You gotta remember, like I said, Hoshina's confidence and foundation have been completely shattered. So even he is wondering, what do we do next? And Kaiju number 10 says, dog, what are you spacing out for? You just got done defending, so we gotta go attack next. And Hoshina tells Kaiju number 10, bro, I don't got no more moves that I can throw at this thing. Kaiju number 12 has seen all my moves and does them even better than I can do them. And number 10, bro, this was the most lit part of the chapter by far. Kaiju number 10's speech. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but the very end of the speech, whenever he said, you don't wanna quit, do you? I've got my fist and you got your blades. So until we draw our last breaths, let's do what we love and have some fun. Everything about the ending of this chapter embodies what I love about Kaiju number 8 series. And on top of that, another parallel, I don't know if y'all caught it, but whenever Reno got broken out of that mental trance by Iharu, you saw this same sort of background. And I think that just might kind of be like Matsumoto's thing for Kaiju number 8 series. Whenever we start breaking those mental hurdles, you just see that shatter of, like, I don't even know what it is everywhere. We can call it glass, whatever. But Iharu broke Reno out of that mental trance, and whenever it was just them two about to like shake hands together, it was like those shards of ice or glass was broken everywhere in the background because Reno finally had his mental breakthrough. And now Hoshina, sitting with Kaiju number 10, looking like Eddie and Venom, about to do what they love best. 10 just broke Hoshina out of that mental trance, and we're seeing that same shattered glass background. So next chapter, chapter 92, is truly where I think Hoshina levels up and beats Kaiju number 12. I tried to kind of think of what I could imagine happening, and honestly, I couldn't tell you much. Like I said, Kaiju number 10 told Hoshina, I've got my fist and you got your blades, so let's fight with that. So I'm imagining that obviously Hoshina is the man of blades, and he's not about to let number 12 beat him in a blade battle. So somehow Hoshina's gonna overcome with the blades, but I'm very excited to see how is 10 gonna incorporate itself into this now. We've known since way back after the Kaiju number 10 Wyvern raid that number 10 even told Hoshina straight up, hey bro, I don't care who I'm fighting, human or Kaiju. As long as there's a strong foe in front of me, I live for the thrill of the fight. And now we are truly in the thrill of the fight. Number 10 saw Hoshina risk his life and almost lose his life, as well as how strong Kaiju number 12 is. And I wonder if that excitement can even help number 10 bring more out of itself. Who's to say? I think that we'll finally see Hoshina and number 10 finally get above that 86% output next chapter. And on top of that, maybe they even have some sort of awakening the way that Narumi did with the number 1 suit. So I'm gassed, bro. This chapter had me scared in the beginning. They had us in the first half. But all I know is Hoshina is coming back next chapter stronger than ever. And then we're one step closer to seeing Kafka and Mina again. So I'm not going to make too many predictions for future chapters afterwards. I feel like I'm very much so focused on this Hoshina and number 10 fight. But the one thing I do got to say is tune back into the channel on Saturday, y'all. We're actually going to get some Kaiju anime updates. So I will post a video with whatever updates we end up figuring out. Obviously, I try to bring y'all material on Kaiju as soon as I figure it out. That way y'all have the news as well as me, and it's just fun to talk about the stuff. So yeah, if you do want to talk about Kaiju more, talk about Sakamoto Days, talk about Undead Unluck, any anime, any manga series, join our Discord. I'll put the link in the description. I appreciate y'all coming and watching this video. As always, arigatou mas. Side note, they released some like cosplay live action type of stuff for Kaiju number 8 today, and the cosplay suit that they made looks so badass. They recreated that like Kaiju number 8 sitting underneath the umbrella color spread, if you know what I'm talking about, from way forever ago. But go on Twitter and check it out. It was really cool. It's on YouTube, it's on Twitter. And like I said, tune back in on Saturday so that we can talk Kaiju number 8 anime. Maybe they'll change the visuals. Who knows? We'll see. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.